This man needs to sue Disney and all you guys on TikTok that made a video before you looked at what he actually got convicted of. Your favorite lawyer and a lot of people have just come out and admitted that they were wrong and he was not convicted for giving his girlfriend the Mike Tyson special. He got in trouble and found guilty for recklessly harming her finger while trying to get away from her, bro.
Your thoughts?
What? All the original charges that he was getting charged with about, about giving the beats and all that, they dropped that. He's in the clear for that. He's only in trouble because the jury agreed that when he ran away from her, he tried to get away from her, he recklessly injured her finger. But not intentionally. You see that, right? It wasn't intentional. He just recklessly did it while trying to get away from her. That's what he's charged for. That's why he's walking around free. That's why he's basically not in trouble for anything. I don't even know what's the charge for something like that. But you guys want to come on social media, oh, I told y'all he was wrong. I told y'all he did this. I told y'all he did that. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. If that's the case, like you guys are claiming, because I hear a lot of y'all talking about, sending about messages, and I read those messages, and I think a lot of y'all are making your own context out of them. He's literally only in trouble for injuring her finger while trying to run away from her, bruh. Oh, I hope he sue y'all. I hope he sue every TikToker that went out and slandering his name right now. He's gonna make a check on y'all, bro. I really hope he sues you guys, because you guys is really just saying anything without actually going to go read the documents.
You see? Now this is why you don't listen to fake internet lawyers. You don't listen to the shade room comments to tell you what the fuck is going on. We already did a video on this. We watched a video of Jonathan Majors running away from this woman for blocks, okay? I'm an attorney. I'll give you the rundown. To be guilty of a crime, you have to be guilty of the actus reus and the mens rea. Actus reus is the action. Mens rea is the mental state. So if you do an action but you do not have the correct mental state, you are not guilty, right? So when you shoot somebody, what are you guilty of? Well, that entirely depends on your mental state and the facts and circumstances around it, and whether your mental state is reasonable based on the given facts and circumstances. So if it's a situation where they were pointing a gun at you, you're not guilty of anything, because a reasonable person would fear for their life in that scenario, and that activates your ability to use self-defense, deadly self-defense. So you'd be guilty of nothing. If they were not doing anything and minding their business, they pissed you off, right? And then you shoot them. That's an intentional killing, because you have no justification for that, and you clearly had the intent. Now, the types of mens rea that are typically used in these type of situations are intent, recklessness, and negligence. Negligence is a mistake, something that a reasonable person would know not to do, but you did it anyway, and it caused whatever the issue was, a mistake. That's sometimes how people get guilty of like criminally negligent homicide, where you do something that's kind of crazy, not quite to the degree of recklessness, but something you should have known not to do, but you did it anyway. It was so negligent. You were so, like, what you did was so outside the bounds of what a reasonable person would normally do, that they heighten it to the level of criminal negligence, right? Then you have recklessness. Recklessness is something like where you take a gun and just start firing, like you're inside your house and you just start firing out your window, right? You don't intend to hit anybody. You don't intend for anyone to die, but that's a reckless action, because a reasonable person would know that doing so would almost certainly lead to someone getting hurt, because bullets go far. I do that, I'm hitting all my neighbors by accident, right? While they're at their dinner table. So that's a reckless action. It's more than a mistake. It's something that you know, not you should have known, but you actively know would or could cause the injury or the issue, and you do it anyway, and then the thing happens. Because you didn't intend for someone to die or for someone to receive the damage that happened to them, you could argue that you're not guilty of whatever the intent-related crime would be, but you would still be guilty, perhaps, of committing that crime via recklessness. Right? Now, an intent crime is going to carry way more jail time than a recklessness crime. Now, what Jonathan made, so they charged him with intent crimes, and they were unable to prove any of them. They were unable to prove that Jonathan Majors intentionally harmed his girlfriend. All they were able to say is that, which is bullshit, too, that he knew that she would be hurt if he tried to escape in the way that he did. First of all, why the fuck are we parsing out how someone who started the encounter as the victim escapes the situation? If a woman escaped a man who tried to chase her for blocks later, no one would say, oh, you escaped recklessly, you hurt him while you were escaping. Nobody would say that. Yeah. It's bullshit. Yeah. This entire thing is nonsense. In what world would a woman try to escape her attacker and you say that she was reckless because she hurt him while she was escaping? Nobody would say that.
No one.
The fact that the jury convicted him of that lets me know just how fucked up this world is.
Yep.
That you see a man, you see a black man, you see a woman, you see a white woman. He's running away from her, escaping her. He didn't hurt her while he was escaping her. She hurt herself attacking him. And yet somehow you twist that into he's guilty of assaulting her recklessly while trying to escape. I'm an attorney, so I can tell you that when you try to use recklessness as the mental state to try to hold somebody guilty on an assault,
who's obviously
a victim in this situation, you're grasping at straws. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing. I've been a lawyer for almost 10 years. You're grasping at fucking straws. That's what you're doing. It's the same thing that they did in Tory Lanez trial, where they tried to put up the story while Tory Lanez is just mad that Megan Thee Stallion was doing better than him, that a woman was doing better than him. He's misogynistic. See his lyrics? He couldn't stand it, so he shot her in the foot. Everybody with a fucking brain knows that's bullshit. That makes no fucking sense. But that's what they tried. Why did they try that? They were grasping at straws because their case was falling apart. This is nonsense. Let me tell you right now, I'm not hearing none of this. All you low IQ motherfuckers can't argue with me on this fucking topic. Not on Tory Lanez trial and not on this. Just because a jury found you guilty doesn't mean you actually did it. You understand that? Juries find people guilty all the time and the case gets overturned. The jury verdict gets overturned. The jury verdict gets thrown out for being irrational, against the weight of the evidence. All that. This is fucking nonsensical.
And a lot of times, sometimes they got the wrong person. They just pin it on anybody.
Of course.
The case.
You kidding me? Back in the day, how many cases did we see in the early 2000s and even up to now? Motherfuckers getting out of jail on DNA exoneration because 2 and 3 people got on the stand and swore they did it in the 1970s, only for the fucking DNA to say otherwise. Mm-hmm. Stop fucking playing with me. Stop it. This is fucking nonsense.
I mean, lawyers actually examine how, like he said, the thought process of a person in a situation. They examine it down to a T. So I hope, obviously he's accurate on everything that he says, and I agree with him. And I really do hope that Jonathan Majors does get his get back, and I hope he does sue. He needs to sue. He has to sue. Because that's like defaming him.
It's difficult. Like, This is very similar to the situation with DJ Academics we were watching, mm-hmm. where the girl says she wants, because Blueface said he had sex with her at a specific time, she mm-hmm. wants to sue for defamation. Okay. And she's not saying they didn't sleep together. Okay. She's just saying that when he said they slept together is a lie. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of the same situation here, where it's like if he didn't assault her, then people saying he assaulted her, it's easy defamation. Mm-hmm. But because he was found guilty of reckless assault, it's difficult for him to sue. He's going to have to sue on the specific grounds that people are reporting that he's guilty of an intentional assault, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. that he beat up his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. That's what people are saying on the internet that he was found guilty of. But he was actually found guilty of what some was saying, right. Escaping and recklessly harming her while escaping. Can he sue? Technically, yes, but it's the same situation I was telling you before. On a law school exam, maybe that flies. In real life, I struggle to see him winning that one.
No, but
because that's a very serious technicality that. Because you have to prove actual malice. So you have to prove that the person knew what they were saying was false and went with it anyway.
Okay.
So
and none of these people have any law degree or
exactly.
understanding. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
And Megan Cundiff, who he was just showing her tweet,
Yeah.
she came out and corrected herself.
Okay.
I think she's a lawyer. She came out and corrected herself when she said he was guilty of XYZ. She retweeted, quote tweeted herself, and said he was acquitted of all intent-related crimes. So she won't get sued.
Okay.
She know better than that, so she won't get sued, right? But other people who wrote that, like, it's like the people who edit Shade Room, they don't have a fucking law degree.
Yeah.
So they see assault, they say he beat her up.
Yeah.
Like, is that
fine line understanding of
now as a news reporting outlet? Do you have the due diligence to try and to report it accurately and to dig into that? Yes, but I feel like he would fail the actual malice portion of the analysis there in trying to establish that they knew that he wasn't guilty of intent crimes, but trying to portray like he wasn't guilty of intent crimes. I feel like that's honestly, I feel like that's a level of sophistication that's beyond them. Like, I think that some of them were confused, right? They're not lawyers. They don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But especially how the headlines were reported to make it more salacious. You're guilty of assault. What kind of assault, motherfucker? It makes a difference, right? And some people don't know that such a thing could happen. Yeah. That you could even be guilty of assault while trying to escape someone recklessly. I didn't know that either until fucking today.
Can he get a new court case where he's not with the jury, though?
What he can do is if he wants to, he was guilty of misdemeanor, so he's not even gonna. He doesn't have a criminal record. For a misdemeanor, you can do up to a year in jail, but has no criminal record. And considering what the misdemeanor is, him escaping recklessly, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get probation or a fine or some shit. But the point is that it messed his career up. As soon as it happened, the same day it happened, 5 minutes later, Disney dropped him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is insane to me.
But just like you said, all these people don't have like a law degree, don't understand. So he had a trial with jurors, right? So why can't he get a fair trial where people understand understand the fine?
Because that's the point of the American justice system, is that you have a trial of jury by your peers. Now,
but you get to choose, you said, right? You told me this, no?
Yeah, you get to choose, and so does the other side.
Okay.
Y'all both get to pick together. So they pick people that they think are gonna side. So you kidding me? They pick as many women as they could, as many white women as they could. Right? You think they would have put me on the jury?
No, because you're a lawyer, you understand.
And I'm a black man. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Yeah. The prosecution wanted to get rid of anyone who would be sympathetic to Jonathan Majors. Yeah. Now, of course, based on Batson versus Kentucky, you're not allowed to go after kick jurors off with preemptory challenges based on race, but they know in their head, they know in their head they'll find another way to do it because they know that black people would support him. They know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the jury makeup was. I'd have to look at it. But he can appeal and argue that, the jury's verdict was irrational or against the weight of the evidence, etc. I don't know if he would win that one either. All I know is that this is bullshit.
Fuck these people.
Of course, what should have happened, what a reasonable prosecutor would have done, is after seeing the video of son running down the street, he would dismiss the case.
Absolutely.
That's what was supposed to happen.
Everybody would have. Like, are you kidding? Anybody with a fucking brain or common sense can see that.
Right. And if, for example, somehow you didn't dismiss the case, jurors with fucking brains should have seen him running away and say, fuck that. Nope. Well, I'm not making you guilty of anything. I don't care what his text messages say. Wow. I don't care I don't care what argument they had. This man tried to run away from her, and that's the incident that you're saying that he assaulted her?
White women's tears. They heard the recording. They saw her crying. They saw her beat up.
Of course.
White women's tears. Fuck out of here.
Right. White women's tears can make you guilty of shit you never did. Fuck out of here. As far as I'm concerned, Jonathan Majors is innocent. I don't care what you say. I saw the video. I don't care. Okay? And like I said, I'm a lawyer. Juries are wrong all the time. I don't give a fuck. Just because there was a guilty verdict doesn't mean it's correct. OJ got found not guilty. We all know he did that shit. So stop fucking playing with me.
Woo, yeah.
Juries are not always correct.
Nope.
The fuck off my screen, Goofy.